let me go to a quote made by one of the labor activists. Issa Aremu, as the former vice president of the NLC, said that one of the reasons we have serious depression or recession, he says, now in the economy is that working people have become beggars. They can't pay for goods and services to turn the economy around. What do you make of this kind of statement?
I think the statement has some merit, and the reason why we're in this problem primarily, ab initio, is the issue of wrong policies that have been in place since last year. I think government, tends to try to correct itself now. But I think the critical thing, the reason why people are becoming beggars, because the policy framework in the past 1 year, in my opinion, have not been the right policies that should have been taken. For example, why do you have to wait for 6 months to appoint ministers? Why do you have to do that? And you say that they are noisemakers. Because if you wait for that long length of time, when will you have time to prepare for the budget? I thought maybe at the beginning of the administration, 2-3 months, look at what happened in the UK.
Are you saying they don't have a direction?
The direction appears to be questionable. I think it appears this government probably did not think they will win. I don't know. Because there should have been a blueprint. Immediately, you are quick to keep going. Immediately, you are inaugurated. You took 6 months to appoint ministers.
You're not saying they put us in this problem, are you?
I think they had some missteps, lots of missteps. Look at the exchange rate. It was fixed for a long time, and that created problems. Somebody has malaria, for example, and you are told to take chloroquine. And then you delay. The malaria has gone to affect the liver. So even if you now end up taking the chloroquine after 6 months, you find that the problems have actually compounded. The policy framework of the government over the period of time, most times, have been, in my opinion, faulty. Now, when they are trying to come back to have, a change for the oil sector to deregulate or liberalize the prices, or the foreign exchange to liberalize, or the issue of maybe food, agriculture, so this could have been done much earlier. So government is now taking these steps after a long time, and it has created so much problem in the economy and much distortions. So I think the policy has made the ordinary Nigeria to now be a beggar. People are not getting paid. Let government borrow. Let the government spend. Start spending now and keep the economy going. Spend in infrastructure. Pay salaries, and you see money circulating, and that will help to arrest the drift we are going through.
The governors, many are complaining about being unable to pay salaries over months now, some as much as 9 months, and that is really absurd according to some of the analysts that we've spoken to right on this show. But do you suppose that governors who cannot meet their required obligations, should they resign?
Yes, I think so, because if you cannot pay salaries, because most times they have so much money for security and all that, basically you're able to take care of your workers. And I think it also calls for the issue of the country to be restructured. Some states actually are just going cap in hand every month to Abuja to get money. They cannot get money internally within their states. They're just created, and they cannot survive on their own. So the issue is not just the governor, but even the state should be collapsed. But that is something, for a long-term
States
program.
Should be collapsed. What do you mean by that? To merge them? Some states are not viable enough?
Some states are not viable. I think are not viable. I think there's need for us as a country to be restructured. Some states actually, as they are not viable, in my opinion. So salary should be paid, because if people work for 3 months, 4 months, 6 months are not paid, it affects how much they can pay school fees for their children, buy and patronize the ordinary person in the street selling rice, yam, beans, and so on. These are the critical issues, and the economy will not just be stagnant. So states, some are not really viable, and they can't really continue to make progress for their people.
When do you suppose this situation we're in, a recession, when do you suppose that we can get out of it?
If government can keep on with their program, this year's budget, which I think has some merit in terms of the proportion of money allocated for capital expenditure, is quite good. Invest in the railways, in roads, open up the economy, address security, the Fulani herdsmen issue. Food production can now also grow. Let them keep to their program and make sure that monies are released. And the government should run an inclusive system. It should be inclusive. There's no need to say that those that voted for you and those that didn't vote for you. That is why we have the Avengers. So government should be able to run an inclusive system where everybody will cooperate and help the government to achieve their goals. But don't run an exclusive government. People will just shy away and try to make sure they work against you. That's so important.
Now, let's look at another statement by the Director General of the Industrial Training Fund, the ITF, Dixon Onoha, saying that at the present time, as we speak, 9,000 youths selected from 18 states of the Federation under the National Industrial Skills Development Program. It's a training program, of course, aimed at fast-tracking the National Industrial Revolution Plan of the federal government. Can this work really in the face of a recession?
Yeah, we need to acquire skills. But also there must be work to do. Even if you have all the skills in the world, Nigeria has so many skills. People are skilled in so many areas. People are skilled in practical kind of activities. Maybe what can find usefulness in the ordinary way of life. It's very, very important. But we must get the economy going for them to be able to find where they can express or manifest all these skills to grow the economy. If you don't have a good environment, no matter how much skills you have, that will just be a futile attempt to help the economy.
You did mention about the structure when we were talking earlier before we went on the break, and I asked you to be specific. Does this government have a structure in place that can utilize the saved monies from stolen funds and the ones saved up through the system by blocking some loopholes in it? Do they have a structure like that can stimulate the kind of growth that we anticipate?
I doubt. I don't think they have. There's actually no I'm not aware of any. No blueprint, even an economic plan, a blueprint that can say that is the way this country will want to go. That's our direction. How to affect agriculture, how to affect industry, and how they dovetail the input-output issues, agriculture, mining, oil sector, and how in the blueprint about the society itself, inclusiveness, about corruption. Let everything be in a blueprint, having an economic plan, which I think is also important. So I'm not aware of a structure currently. Maybe there is, but I'm not aware, at least, that there is that kind of structure. So which means we hear of monies recovered. How would those monies help the economy? Where would they go? What is the blueprint? The much I know, I'm not aware that this government has such a structure. I hope they need to put one in place and let us know what it is for us to actually help them to monitor.